Welcome to the Daily Dose. My name is Robert. That twinsy pal of mine is Susan. We're both wearing our Yes and exercise shirts. And somewhere around here is Stella. Who knows? She might pop up. I have a puppy. Um,
She got a shirt too.
I don't know. She
This
has
was
all the energy.
completely unplanned. This is
She's full of shirt. We'll put it that way. So here's the deal. Yeah, our doses are always unscripted. This one is a pop-up version, and I'm going to get to it right away. I have a story. Basically, goes like this: our washing machine broke 2 weeks ago. Called out a repair guy, scared to death. It's going to be a repair. It's going to be more expensive than it's worth. Pretty much says it is. And as I'm going and looking at the receipt, wait a minute, I've got a warranty. Cool. Call the warranty. Yep, you're covered. We're going to send out a repair person. Boom. They're coming out 2 days later. They don't show. Okay, that's problematic. Hey, we'll get another person out. It's going to be 3 more days and a holiday involved. Okay, fine. We're a week without laundry. It backs up. That's a problem. But okay, we're going to send somebody. Guy calls me, says, hey, I'm here outside your house. I go, that's interesting. I'm looking outside my house. I don't see you. What's the address? He gives me my Las Vegas address.
no,
Company gave them my own
no,
address. So now I've
no.
had one not show up, one show up to an address, not in the city I'm in. So I'm at the
Oh,
third repair company. And by the way, the original repair guy, he's identified what the problem is. We know it's a broken lid. It's like, just come out with the part. So the third company agrees to come. It's going to take 5 more days, though, for them. It's the weekend and everything else and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. So as they're doing, I say, look, please order the part ahead of time so your repair tech doesn't just show up and say, oh yeah, it's a cracked lid. I know it's a cracked lid. Here's the picture. Here's everything. Just come with that. So they say, it's not our policy. We can't do that. I'm like, okay, let me try to, can I please talk to your manager so I can get above somebody to just, have a conversation. They keep stonewalling me. Fine. Yesterday, finally, they're like confirming, we're gonna be there tomorrow. I say, just to let you know, here's the picture. I'm frustrated with this process that you're not coming with the part. I think this is something you should repair. 1:30 in the morning, I get a note back from somebody. I wake up at 5 this morning. They say, we're going to cancel today and go ahead, and it's not our policy, but we'll try to get that part for you. I'm like, no, don't do that. I write back in all caps. He writes back in all caps to me, fine, I won't do that. We'll send our guy. The guy comes, sure enough, he's in and out in 5 minutes. Yep, it's the lid. I'm like, yep, there you go. So I wrote back to the guy. I said, this is what was going to happen, and it is. And I guess he was going to write something back, shoot something back to me that I wasn't snarky. I apologized. Said all caps was for this reason and the other. I just want you to understand this is the customer service problem. He calls me back. He says, hi, we've been emailing me. My name is Gene. I'm the owner of this company. And he explains to me a situation. I heard him. I yes-anded him. I heard you say. And he said, yes. I said, here's my perspective. And he goes, you know what? I can see what you're saying. I see why that could have worked. I said, if we had talked and I had gotten to you, do you see how we could have gotten that? He goes, yes. He said, I run 100 different people and all these different things. He said, I don't catch every email. If I had seen you, you're right. That could have happened. I said, I just needed to be heard, man. And I hear you. And by the way, I'm a business owner too. I get what it's like to be overstretched and all that. And I don't get every email. So all of a sudden we were talking about our families. We were talking about things. And he says, here's my personal number. If you have any more issues, call me. So it went from this terrible situation to here by listening to each other, by taking a moment to get past. Emails can really get lost. He took the moment to call me. I give him so much credit. He called me and we hashed it out. And
Emails can not only get lost or buried or whatever, they can be misinterpreted. Just the language can be tough. But yes, wow, that's yeah, that's quite a moment. It's quite exactly the same as what happened at the beginning of my mouse problem of almost 3 months ago, in which I said on the phone, I said, this is not an inspection. I am telling you, there are really loud, there's a real problem here. So I need service. I don't need an inspection. They came out completely unprepared to do an inspection. And long story short, it's now 10 or 11 or 12 weeks or something like that. And I think we finally solved the problem a few days ago.
so there's two things that we play with all the time in our work. And as I heard you say, an institutionalization, right? That I heard you say gets blocked by people saying that's our policy, institutionalization. That is only there because people are supporting it. Institutionalization, or that's our policy, is a block to humanity.
They're real people who write those regulations.
And worship them.
and well, that or they don't think, or they limit themselves, or or whatever. Yes.
And I
And
recognize without policies, business could go willy-nilly. And this was part of this guy's point, which I understand. If he gave everybody the autonomy to just do their thing, his business might be really, because, uh, people are making orders all over the place. Now he's tracking things. There's policies for reasons. And when someone asks for an exception, give that person to the right person who can make that exception. I asked early on to speak to a manager. We shouldn't be bucketed as Kens and Karens because we're asking to speak to someone who can make a decision. I hate that that's happened, that we have gotten to the point where, yes, some people complain about everything, and that's a problem too. But when reasonable people complain about a reasonable problem in a reasonable manner and get blocked by that's our policy or some other institutional language, we have really ruined communication.
I'm sorry, we can't send the mouse guys back for 2 weeks. And I'm like, they're here now. Why would we wait 2 weeks? Oh, I know, so they can multiply. So we can have more generations of baby mice in the walls who then multiply again and again.
It's,
So
yeah,
what's it's going to be the end of your story? Where
positive communication matters, right? That somebody stepping in an institutional work, an institutional place who can make a difference to say, I hear you. That this person, Gene, again, getting the credit to say, I'm going to break the chain of this email where we're not quite hearing each other. And I'm just going to reach out and let's talk so we can have discourse, so we can yes and each other. And again, using these skills of I heard you say, put him at bay. If I just negated him and went, no, 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 you're not hearing me. I needed to hear, he needed to be heard. And although that's a little backward for a customer, I understood what was happening. I'm like, okay, I'll play your manager of you and make sure you're heard and repeat back. So you've heard, you've been heard. Now, will you listen to me? I created space for
I
myself.
love that. I love that. Well, it was a sign of honor and respect, which is why we play the I heard you game to help bring that simple language to someone's forethought because it can make a difference. I bet you he was initially motivated to call you if he did see the part about the appointment being in Las Vegas. If he went back that far and went,
He didn't know that actually. He asked afterward, and we had a good
really?
laugh about that because I told him that they were the third company, and I said, "This isn't your fault. You're bearing the brunt of some of my frustration, and I apologize for that." And I put those words in writing, which again I feel is noble and honorable, and hopefully, gives me a little. I'm not just here to make your day terrible. I'm giving you the full story so you can understand, and maybe we can hear each other because
Maybe
otherwise
we,
we're operating up here and we're
mhm.
missing all of this.
Maybe
So
we can hear each other.
yeah, this is our story. These are the reasons we play in this space. This is how this is tangible to much more than Parkinson's. And we hope that you'll join us in the Yes and program, whether it's the Jam for Joy or the Day One program, because all of this makes us better people, I think.
Indeed.
That's your daily dose.